Hey YouTube, I'm Mikey Nyce. This is a cameraman.
Yup.
And this is HeadRoom.
The space between your ears.
Now we got a couple of guests here today. We're going to sit down and we're going to do some talking, and we're just going to see, like what we're going to end up talking about. You know how it is when you get a little burnt out. You start talking with your friends and who the fuck knows where it's going to go. So let's find out.
I got my two illegitimate sons with me. We got Ra over here, no doubt.
Peace to everybody.
And RJ.
Hey, how
hello.
you doing?
I don't have any illegitimate sons.
Oh,
I feel bad.
it's
Can I
alright.
adopt RJ?
You can be
You
the
can
other
adopt
dad.
them. You can have one of them.
The other dad, like we can get married.
2019.
That's what's up.
Let's do it.
Well, you're binary now, right?
That's what I
Because Steven Spliff, this is when she was a little fat girl. She used to be called Steven Spliff.
That's right.
Well, that's when she was a little fat girl that wanted to be a boy, and now she's a boy that wants to be binary. And you go by he, she, he, they,
By he, him.
he, him. He, him. That's good. I'm with that. And you go by he, him. He, him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you?
He, him is fine.
He, him.
Yeah.
I go by he Almighty.
Yo, man.
And I don't want to say Omega because that seems egotistical, but we all know. We all know. I mean, if you say it, I won't not answer. We all, like if the cops bust in and they were like, "Hey, Omega, get over here," you wouldn't stand up, right?
No.
But I would.
It's a black one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, that's how that is. So, I don't know.
Nah,
So I was
wouldn't
I'm
fuck
glad that you would.
I said, of course I would. Are you kidding
You
me?
sure?
Yes, definitely.
You would.
That's what's up. That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
HeadRoom. When the twin powers activate. Form of a burnout.
Shape of
A marshmallow.
marshmallow.
Fresh mozzarella.
That niggas is
I think we're too
weird.
young for that.
Fresh mozzarella?
Who?
Oh, Power. What was that? The Wonder Twins.
Oh yeah, it was
Wonder
the
Twins
Super
used to
Friends.
be Super Friends
Yes.
of the Justice League.
Okay.
They were cousins,
Right.
right? Boy and girl cousins, male and female gendered cousins,
Okay.
who used to be able to shapeshift and change form.
Right.
And that's what they used to do. They used to punch, and their powers would unite them and say, Wonder Twin powers activate. It would activate, and it would say, form of, a burnout, in shape of a mozzarella. And then that's what they would turn into.
Right.
And that's kind of what happened to us.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know that.
Okay.
That's all right, you can look it up. It's classic superhero stuff.
The more you learn.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but that's how you know about things. And I'm just saying, I'm glad that you guys didn't go to Storm Area 51. Because I saw both of you on Facebook said you were going to go.
I kind of just did it for the page.
Oh, yeah? All right, well, that's good. Did you meet anybody on the page interested?
No.
But you definitely weren't going to go.
Nah. But
Because you didn't think that there's stuff there, or because you didn't want to get murdered?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
I didn't think
I heard
anybody was going to be there.
You didn't think
Yeah.
anybody was going to go? A lot of people didn't. 2 million people said they were going to go.
But I think
2,000 people went.
Yeah,
That's a
enough
lot.
did though that
Yeah.
that's enough to make at least a little bit of noise. No?
Yeah,
Not of the
but-
2 million that went. If you were
Had
saving
the
up
2 million gone.
If you were saving up $2 million to buy yourself a dope 2-bedroom apartment and you had $2,000, would you feel close?
I guess not.
No.
Probably not.
Probably not.
No, that's not really a good. Numbers are funny when they get that big. Like, there's 6 billion people on the planet, right? Okay. How many people you think right now are making poopies? Right now, alive on the 6 billion, 7 billion? How many people are probably making poopies right now?
14,368,241.
14 million?
14 million people are shitting.
I have no clue. I think there might be a lot more than 14.
More than
It
14
sounds
million?
like higher or lower, right? Higher, lower. I don't know.
I feel like that's a question you should
That's a
ask.
game we should get.
Yes.
Google.
Leave in the comments how many people do you think?
Taking poopies right when you're watching this.
People want to pause it and look it up?
What do you think the answer would be?
I don't
Do you
know. That
think
should be a
there
game
is-
we should
Do you
play.
think that there is an answer?
I don't know. How many people are going poopies right now? I don't think that would be an answer. Google, how many people are going
How
number
many
2 right now?
people?
Defecating? I would ask, but I'm broadcasting this stuff. Maybe you're have to look that up, but I don't think that that's something you can find out.
That's such a good question.
But that's so weird. But like, you think that you're a weird person, but 7 billion people is a lot of people. So the weirdest thing that you think is so weird and unique about you, there's probably millions of people in the world in the world that do that every day, like it's nothing. Like if you were in America and you ate, I don't know, like guinea pigs every day, you were out there going to PetSmart and like, that one. You know what I'm saying? And you were like, oh, man. Like, you know, like if you were going shopping at PetSmart, that would be one thing. But if you were in like I know my boy from Ecuador told me that they eat guinea pigs in Ecuador. Or there's like a certain holiday where everybody makes it. Like they make turkey here. Mm-hmm. There they make guinea pig. I don't know. They stuff it or whatever they do with it. They season it up nice.
I tried it.
Right?
I tried.
Unfortunately, there aren't any defecation statistics, so.
So I guess it's best guess.
I mean, someone should do a study on it.
Close estimate, guys. Come on.
I don't know.
It's something to.
You think it's more than 100 million?
I think so. 6 billion, you said?
Yeah, how many people are on the earth? Look that up.
7 billion people.
7 billion people, right? Like 6.97 or.
It has to be more than 100 million.
I almost think there's 100 million in China right now making poopies. But I don't know.
7.53 billion.
7.53 billion.
As of 20.
So how many people are making poopies? Can we extrapolate from the people in this room? No, because then that number would be 0.
Right.
How many people in this building right now? We're in a building that has about how many apartments in it? 50?
At least maybe 60.
So 60 apartments. So right now in this building, there's got to be at least 5 people going dookie, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right now, yeah.
Right now, right? There's got to be 5 people just about to wipe or just finishing wiping their backside.
If you're watching this, hello.
Yeah.
I don't really want to talk about defecation humor, but that was the first thing that came up. I don't know how.
Imagine if they're really on the bowl now and they're watching this.
Right.
You know what? I bet a lot of people watch this on the phone. We don't really have a lot of people that watch it, to be honest with you. You guys could do a better job of sharing. That would be nice. But a lot of people watch on their phones, and a lot of people use their phones in the toilet or on the train. So I wonder what percentage of the people are on the train or on the toilet watching this right now. Because I'm pretty sure nobody's in their living room watching this.
Nah.
Probably.
I would, but I'm strange. I'm different, I think. That's the thing that makes me unique. And there's probably 10 billion people that watch YouTube on their fucking living room couch.
It's true.
What do you guys watch YouTube on?
I consume YouTube in many different ways on that
Watching
big
YouTube
TV,
right now.
on my phone, on my laptop.
Yeah, me too on my phone. I'm YouTube junkie.
Yeah,
I am a YouTube junkie.
I put so many fucking hours into
What are the kids there? What, they're not into YouTube?
No,
I watch a lot of YouTube.
we're like at 3 a.m. Like if you're up at 3 a.m., you're on the weird side.
What's
of
like the
YouTube.
thing nowadays? Like,
ASMR.
I mean, people are fucking doing
but
ASMR.
and the
videos.
What is that?
It's when you get close to a mic and you just make weird sounds with
Or you
your
eat,
mouth or
you
different
chew,
objects.
or you, yeah.
And you kind of make it into music, or you just make noise?
No,
you just make
people
noise.
just use it to go to sleep. Actually, believe it. I don't know how they can fucking
Yeah,
go to sleep.
people whisper with it.
Yeah.
Wow, this is the video, and it's just that.
And that's on YouTube, or that's on a different?
Yeah, it's a huge thing on YouTube.
But what else are kids into? Like a friend of mine was like, he's like, what am I, a kid today? I'm not gonna get on Facebook. I'm like, kids ain't on Facebook.
Exactly.
Kids ain't on Facebook. You on Facebook?
I mean, I am, but like.
But that's not your main thing, right? You do that to keep in
The
touch
internet's
with,
just funny.
with me and him, right? I mean,
You guys use like TikTok and shit like that?
Nah. I see a lot of people do it, but nah.
So what do you guys not into
But now the
social
older
media?
people are trying to take over that.
So you're not into social media?
I mean, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, but I don't really like.
You don't really have a large
Like
presence?
I'm on just scrolling.
Oh yeah, just trolling.
Or I'm on
scrolling.
the story, just posting
Yeah.
whatever's going on, but nothing like.
I see that sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not deep into it.
I'm like, oh, he's got a job. Oh, he's not working anymore.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but
Oh, he's
like,
making beats. Oh,
Yeah, he
okay,
posts
right?
his little fat music.
Then I'm not making beats no more.
You not?
Nah, I mean like I'm taking. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember you used to skateboard. You skateboard anymore?
No.
You still skateboard?
I-
right?
Sometimes.
You got the extra bone.
Yeah.
Helps. What?
We got the melanin.
What?
Got the power of the sun.
That helps. That helps.
Yeah.
Right? That's power activate. That's what's up. Bro. That's what's up. That's what it's all about. Being youthful, bro. So you guys believe in aliens?
Of course.
You know, of course.
Yeah.
Like definitely.
Yeah.
Like gray aliens or green alien, like whatever.
Whatever comes.
And what do you think is an alien?
Different subspecies or different life form.
Different life form,
Yeah.
different subspecies from like a different planet, or it could be
Yeah.
from this planet.
Yeah.
An alien life form. like a bacteria, or you mean like it's something that you would recognize, like with the eye?
Because we're still finding stuff on Earth that is very freaking
that's what I'm
alien.
saying.
Well, it's very old anyway.
Like, it's a known fact that we know more about what's in space than we do what's in our ocean.
That's a fact.
And, like, you know, the Earth is 80% water, we should know.
Well, yeah, but I think that has to do with the atmospheric pressure of the ocean is probably greater than the atmospheric pressure of space because of the gravity of the Earth.
Right.
So I imagine that it's probably easier, and then to break that fractal level where you're going to the next planet as opposed to just staying on your own planet.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably research your planet until it's no longer habitable, or you could move on, and right.
Yeah,
Once you get to a certain intelligence, but I don't know. I think we're kind of above everything else. Like, you think aliens had any effect in our?
I think
Creation?
we were actually kind of created by aliens, believe it or not. Genetic experiments.
Yeah.
Well, not even like, you ever seen the thing about the Sumerians and stuff like that?
I have. I read into that a lot. And I don't know how much. I don't read Sanskrit. You guys know about the Sumerians? What they say?
No.
Sir.
They say that aliens came down, right? They were called the Anunnaki, which supposedly means if he from heaven came.
Okay.
And if you look up, I believe it's called the Enuma Elish, is the first Sumerian story of creation that we know of.
Mm.
Sumerians are responsible for a lot of the first things that we know. And there is evidence that they had knowledge of the way our solar system works. They had these little things that were around the size of a clipper lighter, and they were called scrolls. They were scrolls, but there's a certain name that I can't. It's escaping me right now. But there would be indented drawings and things in there, and you would be able to roll it on a piece of clay, and on there would be like a comic strip that would kind of tell you a story. And that's what it was made to do. And there was one called the Granting of the Plow,
Right.
where you see a large creature sitting in a chair with a headdress on. And then you see a similar looking creature with the same sort of headdress but shorter, much, much shorter, who's standing next to what appears to be a human. And he's giving them the plow. Okay? And in the little background, you can clearly see a sun, all the planets around the sun, the moon, and a 10th planet that they say is where they came from. That's their story. And there's plenty of evidence for either another planet in our solar system or a planet-sized black hole in our solar system. And they say that they came here for a certain reason, monoatomic.
Wasn't it called
gold.
Nero or something like that?
Nibiru was
Nibiru.
supposed to be the
Yeah,
planet.
Nibiru.
And they say that they created us and they wanted the monoatomic gold, and they created us as slaves for the mining of this monoatomic gold. They say they originally went to, I guess it's Iran, where the Tigris and the Euphrates meet, and that's where it was like a gold mine, a lot of gold in the Middle East, I guess. And it was easily mined there, coming right out of the water, right out of those rivers. It was full of gold, apparently. And then they realized that at some point they needed to go to the other place in the earth where there's a lot of gold, and that was Africa, in southern Africa. And I believe in Ethiopia to this day is Adam's calendar, which is supposed to be the oldest monolith on earth that marks east, west, north, south. It's a time, it's a calendar. It's supposed to be 1 million years old. And there's also, I forget where it is, but I want to say in Ethiopia as well. It might not be Ethiopia. There's Enki's Castle, which is a giant, man-made castle in Africa. It's one of the, many African historians point to it as many castles that many kings in Africa, in ancient Africa. But this thing is huge, it's tremendous, and it's made perfectly. It's spiral. It's a castle. It's huge, and there's all trees in it and whatever. I don't know. You could look it up. But they say that that's where Enki lived. He was the god of the underworld, which was Africa, where you had to mine the gold and not the upper world. That's what the Sumerians say. I don't know if that's true or not. Obviously.
So it was,
I wasn't
you
there.
just kind of sound like you're, you know.
I don't know if I
specific about
believe it or not, but I mean, I looked into it.
No,
I don't know if I believe it. I mean, I know we're different.
What do you think, bro?
Now, sometimes I feel alien sometimes.
But we are different, right? Did we evolve on this planet? When it's 74 degrees, 74 and a half degrees, we're comfortable. Anything hotter than that, it's too hot. Anything colder than that, it's freezing. Unless they, I live in Alaska. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't. But you have to wear a coat and clothes. You have to be indoors. If you weren't indoors, even in nice climate, in the perfect climate, if you weren't indoors or protected from the sun, you wouldn't last very long. Right? Without clothes on, you definitely wouldn't last very long in this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like every other animal. What other animal needs to wear clothes?
You think it was 74 for Adam and Eve
74
degrees?
in the Garden of Eden. I don't know. That's supposed to be between the Tigris and the Euphrates. It's supposed to be the Garden of Eden. And I'm pretty sure it's pretty nice there. I'm pretty sure it's pretty nice there now.
74.
I don't think it's 74, but I'm pretty sure it's a nice place to live. It's probably right in that habitable zone of the earth,
Right.
which seems to be a miracle place to live and evolve, which is fantastic.
Right.
But I still don't know that we would evolve to be that uncomfortable here. Why, you believe in aliens or no? Like
Of
that?
course.
Like they did something to us, or they just visit us and watch us?
No, I mean,
Think they're coming back if they were here?
I definitely think they visited the Earth before, but like,
I think
it's
they're
a myth.
also-
Like the galaxy is infinite, right?
Right.
There's an
Well, the
infinite number of
universe.
stars.
I don't know about the galaxy.
Well, like, yeah, the universe is infinite.
Space, right?
So like, all the galaxies and stars, and they're also infinite.
And well, inside, yeah, we all break down to an infinite, right, amount of things inside of us, right? You go from your body to the cells, the membranes to the cells, to the atoms, to the
Imagine what's on your
DNA, the
fingernail.
RNA.
Right.
It just goes infinite.
But like, my point is just like, you don't think there's other life somewhere, and about like stars we don't really know about, or like planets we haven't discovered yet, since you know space is infinite.
Well, that's very possible. What do you think?
I think so. I think there's other life forms, and I think they visited us.
They
I don't know.
visited us?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like recent, but I know it's like in the past.
Right.
I
So
don't
you
know
believe Area 51 was actually home of the spaceship that was
Yeah.
recovered
in Nevada, like all those years ago?
Like, when do you think that they visited us? In the 50s? Like that in Nevada? Or
well,
do
yeah,
you
no.
think that they visited us when they built the pyramids?
That's both.
Or those older, like, go back Tepia, those older places?
I probably know the pyramids.
Not the pyramids?
Probably for me.
The
not
most
the
perfect structure known to man? Not the pyramids?
I think it's just been going on forever.
I was in Canada.
But if it wasn't built by aliens, they definitely had, I mean, way higher knowledge than we have today.
Mhm.
And is that how evolution would work naturally? Like, even if they burnt all the libraries in Egypt, and they conquered all the lands, and they burnt all the history down, as individual humans, if we built that, wouldn't we still have some of that, like, smarts and knowledge? Could we possibly have been dumbed down that much to where we are today, where we can't really understand how we built them?
It's probably brainwashing.
I mean, all of us are brainwashed?
Well, not all of us, but like it started at a certain point, and then it just like was taught, like that was what was taught, and that's what's taught.
Like, after the
us.
Dark Ages, everything is just whatever
Wiped
story
out.
they want to tell.
Yeah,
Inquisition, forcing religion,
like
whatever
recreated
story they want to tell, and kill everybody else,
Right.
and take over.
It's tons of lost knowledge, that's for sure.
And then we live where we are now, where we don't know we want to storm Area 51 because I saw a documentary where Bob Lazar said he had element 115, which is a synthetic element that makes nuclear energy. At room temperature, it's a metal, decays quickly. Supposedly he took it out. How would you take something like that? I don't know. That's what they said in the documentary. I don't know if that's true or not. They said he worked at Area S4, I believe it was, which is a section of Area 51. If you watch him on Joe Rogan even, or in the documentary, you'd be like, I think this guy's telling the truth. I feel like he's telling the truth because he seems like he doesn't want to say what he's saying. He seems like he's scared to say. The whole time on Joe Rogan, he didn't look comfortable at all. He looked kind of like Ryan looks right now. Very, very uncomfortable. Not really. But, I don't know. It's possible, right?
Yeah.
There's a monolith on Mars has a moon named Phobos. And Buzz Aldrin said that there's a monolith on there. And I looked up on the internet. And I don't know, you could believe whatever you want to believe on the internet. There's pictures. I can make a picture. I don't know. Is it true or not?
There's even structures they found on Mars too.
Well, that looks like a structure, but then if you look at it now, it doesn't really look like a structure anymore. Nobody wrote it.
But wasn't there also kind of a monolith?
There was definitely life on Mars at one point.
I think so.
Well, it definitely wasn't. I mean, it could have because that's why it's red, because it oxidized and you needed water to have oxidation for shit to rust.
Has
Water
anything
is life.
come up from what, from having the rover and all that over
I
there?
don't know.
Yeah,
They don't call me every week with updates.
Yeah, I'm saying, do you think there still is, and they're just not telling us? And they on Mars developed a civilization too over time, like we have.
It's possible. I know that they send, things all over the solar system to try to find life on. They look mostly on moons of other planets. The moon Titan of Saturn, I think they look for. It has an atmosphere, like a pretty decent atmosphere. It's but it's like not oxygen based, it's methane based or something like that. But there's supposed to be a liquid. It could be a liquid ocean of methane underneath frozen methane or something. I don't really know. They don't really check with me. I know that Europa is another moon where they thought might be sustainable for life, but Titan is number 1 on the habitable planet list of
Where to live?
where they keep list of where they think habitation is possible.
Right.
Not for us, but for a form of life.
What if they sound like a monkey?
To do what?
I don't know. Explore.
I
So
guess.
yeah, what if they send 2 to recreate in the spaceship and then they send it there?
Well, the
Let it
scary
go.
shit, right, is that the government has had a space force. Like everybody's like, oh, Donald Trump made a space force, but there's been a space force since like 1986. So what?
Would you go to space?
What
if
are
you
they-
had the opportunity? Like to go to Mars?
On that SpaceX rocket?
I mean, dude, on the Disney ride where you're on the spaceship and you feel like you're going to space, I can't barely get that.
The Disney ride, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I
That's
can
got to be
get it.
close, right? Disney knows about
I
it.
mean,
It's gotta be
it
close.
feels like you're going into space, you know?
I don't know.
It feels like you're getting sucked
I've never
into
gotten
the sea.
I've never gotten sucked into what?
What? That's what she said.
I don't know, man.
Look,
What do you think? Would you go to space? I
If
don't like being in elevators,
You get, well,
so I don't think I can go to space.
see, if I got the Disney ride, elevators.
if I can skip
Yeah, I'm not into it.
the departure to get there and just kind of be beamed into space,
Uh-huh.
into a ship, that would be kind of dope.
You ever see the video of them on the space station where they're just floating around from room to room?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like they sleep in a bag on the wall, like literally a bag of like laundry on the wall. All I don't have to do, you sleep. You know, it's kind of weird.
I saw a video of how they take showers. Did you see that in space?
No.
They get a little bag of water, and it says like hot water, and then it says non something soap or
Right.
whatever, like dry soap, and then they just or shampoo
Right.
and soap, and they put it on, and then they get like the bubble of water, and they just leave it there, and then just like rub this bubble of water, and
Right.
it's just a big bubble.
Right, and they kind of float into
Yeah.
it.
No, and then they're just floating there with like the bubble on their head.
Oh, that's cool.
It
I
was
watched the guy
weird.
float from room to room to room and stuff, and he had like a guitar up there.
That's cool.
That would be cool, right? Playing guitar in space. They played David Bowie song. I don't know if you guys know who David Bowie is.
I do know.
He's an old
Private
rock
Show.
star, and he had a song called Ziggy Stardust, and they played that at the International Space Station. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
I
think
think
I saw that.
Astronauts.
A lot of people don't think that that's real. They think space is fake. They think the International Space Station is fake. But I think that if you were in Nevada or in one of these places where you could see the Milky Way galaxy, you would have no choice but to believe in. Before there was television and artificial light and what they call light pollution, where you were able to actually, see the sky at night, see everything. You see all the stars. The reason you can't see the stars at night is because of light pollution. There's too much light reflected into the atmosphere, right? So you can't really. So when you go out in the country, you could kind of see more stars. Like when we go upstate camping, you could see, not that we ever went camping with them when they were too young. We never, ever one time smoked a bunch of moon rocks. Ever one time did that never happen, ever once.
Never.
Only once,
you know?
never. And I'm just saying that you could see more stars there, but even there, it's getting too much light pollution because it's just reflected into the atmosphere completely. But if you went someplace out in the desert, in the sticks, where there's nothing around for miles and miles, you could see the Milky Way galaxy from Earth, and it's a beautiful, spectacular display. Like it makes a television, it's that. It looks like that. It makes a television look like garbage. You know what I mean? Because it's actually really 3D, and you understand that no matter what, you are connected to this giant thing. Somewhere along the line of this, you understand that you don't understand what part you play, but you know that you play a part in this giant system. And that's the miracle of life. That's why no matter what happens, anything that's important, that's what's important. And the fact that we don't focus on things like that is really where the brainwashing that you're talking about comes in. That's what I think, anyway. Because it's part of what everything is, and we don't think about it. You know, we just think about jobs and television and whatever they're telling us to be angry about this week, or whatever they're telling us we deserve last week and don't have this week, whatever it is, who we should hate and why. Well, none of it. It's all important about the connections, right? Like, what is it all about? I don't know.
What's the bigger picture, right?
Is there a bigger picture?
Of course.
There always is.
I feel that there's got to be aliens. Are we part of them? Are they part of us? I think so. I think that consciousness that we all have, that collective consciousness that makes us understand that cold is cold and hot is hot. We all understand that. You don't need to be told that. They're, oh no, I don't get cold. My legs don't get cold, so I wear shorts in the winter. You know it's cold. You know it's cold out. You know it's not summertime. So that collective consciousness that we all understand, that's where we have understanding with this system. And you all have the power to control that. That's the power of life that's important, right? Because you could either be a negative or you can be a positive. You can see things in a negative way, you can see things in a positive way. And that's where you have the power to offer things up to the collective conscious. You can't change things, you can't change hate with more hate. You can only change hate through the collective. That's the only way it works. And that's the more you know. And that's brought to you by Wedding Cake.
No doubt.
You couldn't even say that if it wasn't for Wedding Cake.
That's for real.
But I don't know, I think about aliens and it's all, there's got to be a connection, right? Whether they made us or they didn't make us. If they're intelligent enough to travel through dimensions, I think it has to be through dimensions, or space, vast amounts of space, they have to have a collective consciousness of their own.
Right.
So it has to, we have to all understand now. I don't want to make everything about drugs, as I light a blunt, but
However,
there are people who say that if you smoke DMT, you will 100% talk to aliens.
Opens it up.
Now, I've never done that.
Never done it.
yeah, wow.
But I'm like,
Tell me how that goes.
You want to talk to aliens? Is it,
I know people who say that they've smoked DMT and talk to aliens.
are they normal?
I didn't say that.
Not anymore, no. I'm saying.
I didn't say they're not normal,
No.
but normal in what sense? Are they like everyone
like,
else? Am I like everyone else?
not-
Or you like everyone
like
else?
Not a murderer, you know, like, you know, crazy, you know, out of the box. You know?
Yes.
Not in a serial killer sort of
Right.
way.
All right, you know.
I don't know that if maybe a vehicular manslaughter hasn't been by mistake, or maybe someone, if he had to defend himself, I'm sure he would be capable of killing another man. Whether he has or hasn't, I don't know. But he's not the type of person that will go out and kill a random person.
Okay, yeah, he's good.
But other than that, yeah, he said that he talked to aliens. He didn't talk to them because they understood what he was thinking. And he understood what they were thinking. And there was two different types of aliens, and he said that they were trying to discuss whether or not he would be able to